is a Bramble Jam podcast.
Whoa! Hello, everybody!
Man.
Welcome.
Hello, Bran.
Welcome to
So
Smart House.
good.
Welcome to DCOM Descendants. We're talking about Smart House.
Welcome to Smart House, the DCOM
Yeah.
Descendants podcast.
We're going to rebrand.
Smart House has infiltrated my brain
That's
and
right.
is now moved in, and everything is,
Smart House.
in a sense, when you think about it, when you really break it down,
Smart House.
Smart House.
It's all Smart House.
We are
this
Smart
is
House.
exciting.
Pretty
This
exciting
is-
day today.
After this, we can shut it down. We did the ones everyone was
we
excited
can shut
about.
it down. We did it. If this is your
No,
first
there's
time,
There's more that you need to see.
Okay.
yeah, double teamed. If this is your first time joining us for DCOM Descendants, welcome. If you're listening to us on the Deck the Hallmark feed today, also welcome. And I think you're really going to like it. And if you do like it, please subscribe over at the DCOM Descendants feed.
Leave us a rating and review. We got some really kind ones
Yeah?
lately, Bran.
Do you want me to read one?
Yeah, I can pull it up. I didn't have that ready.
Well, you
you'd
said
think-
it. You said
I
it like
said
you
it
did.
like I had it ready.
Yeah, you
And
said it like you did.
I got it. It's coming up right now. Here we go. Yeah. Elizabeth Whitley says they already gave me Deck the Hallmark, and that was all I could have asked for. Then, just when I thought they couldn't possibly fill my life with even more joy, Zetus Lapidus, they've done it again.
Zetus Lapidus.
Love rewatching these movies and listening along. Love Brand's enthusiasm for these movies. Love that we get more of Erin and her smoldering hot takes. Love how as I rewatch a movie and realize something ages weirdly, Dan is right there to make sure I'm not alone in my process. In summary, the boys and Erin are back, gonna do it again, gonna wake up the neighborhood. This pod is cheetah-licious, so not the drama, and has me on cloud nine.
Wow.
What a review.
You have me on Cloud 9, Elizabeth.
A lot of
my.
good ones there.
Elizabeth Whitley.
A lot of good ones.
That was a lot of DCOM tie. Cloud 9
I didn't
is a
understand
DCOM.
any of
Yeah,
those,
I did.
but,
I did.
you know.
I loved all of that.
Thought you
And
might.
shout out to Nicole Noel for letting us know that Deck the Hallmark should take notes
Yes.
from DCOM Descendants.
Yeah.
Loves the retelling of the movie, much more detailed and slow paced, as they should be.
You know what? There's so many veiled shots at me in this podcast. For there to be a veiled shot at you,
Yeah.
it makes me happy. It shouldn't,
Well,
but it
and
does.
I just want to say that
Listen to the
we
Sense and Sensibility one from a couple weeks back. It's airtight.
we talked about how to do breakdowns
Gilded
when we
Newport Mystery airtight.
when we launched Deck the Hallmark,
When
and
we-
we opted not to.
Correct.
And now we're doing it this way with this show. And I
Yes.
like doing it both. I think there's a place for
Yes.
it. And also,
You swing both ways.
Nicole says Pittsburgh, PA, Comcast, Disney Channel 40.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Nicole.
you, Nicole.
Disney Nicole, and thank you, Nicole, and Smart House.
Disney to you.
This is a very simple show. We talk about a DCOM movie and break it down and then share our thoughts on it. But
We have four
what's
segments.
really
to
the
do it.
point?
Yeah.
What's really the point in doing any of this if we
Just
don't
to
have
hang out
something
with
to
friends? I don't think so.
If we don't have something to go along with it, it's time for Delicious.
Oh, a bevy of things provided today
Wow.
for Delicious. Holy moly.
If you're watching on YouTube, you know that Dan is lying. I was going to run to the store today and make up a little beverage. And then turns out I had a lot to do for my job. So
But if you're
job sounds lame.
if you're listening, you sure did.
Yeah, if
Tell
you're
everybody
listening-
about what you have brought physically.
yes.
This is not
Yes.
virtual
If
projection.
you-
Yeah.
This is
It's
not a
not visual
hologram.
No, we
This is
learned
real.
those are different things.
So different.
If you're listening, I have prepared an orange creamsicle martini.
I wish you did.
A what?
Now you've said it.
It's Brand's favorite beverage of all time he's never had, and you didn't actually bring it?
I will bring it at a later date for Bran to try.
Thank
just
you.
Bran.
And don't throw anything at me. How does that tie into this movie?
I don't know. Maybe you forgot about when the orange exploded.
When they wanted a smoothie
When they wanted a
and
smoothie
an
and they
orange-
started
all the
shooting out
oranges come up?
oranges.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I
Yeah.
What do you want? A tennis ball martini?
No,
this is as clear as crystal.
I was going to make an orange smoothie,
Okay,
but
yeah.
just a couple weeks ago, I did a smoothie / ice cream for Can of Worms.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was trying to be a
Mix it
little
up.
different.
A little classier. With
Typed
the
in like
martini.
orange creamsicle. This is one of the first things that popped up,
Yep.
and it looked delicious.
This seems like something Brand would make at his house. That he rolls outside, and he puts it over the fence, and he's like, "Try
He
this,"
will.
and I'm like, "Bleh."
It has like 3 ingredients.
How do you make it real quick for the people at home?
So it is.
And for myself at a later date. You're gonna go ahead and say. And I'll just say this really quickly. I while I'm excited to hear this, a little disappointed you didn't prepare steaks for all of us. Steaks that we could put on our eyes and in our mouths.
Raw steaks.
But-
you couldn't bring in raw steaks.
You couldn't do that. What do we?
Sorry, guys.
The orange. It's an orange.
I take it back. Forget the orange creamsicle martini. It is raw steak.
That's what I'm talking about.
Delicious.
Here's what you do. You go to your store.
Delicious.
You buy
Sorry.
some steak. You put it on your face. Boom.
Really,
Delicious.
really quick. Give us those ingredients.
Orange juice, half and half, and whipped cream vodka.
Wow, that's
Okay.
it.
And then if you choose, you can garnish it with some whipped cream and an orange slice.
Whipped
Yeah.
cream vodka.
Oh, I love whipped cream vodka.
What is that?
I've
What is
never
that?
had
What does
whipped
that
cream.
mean?
It's vodka flavored like whipped cream.
I personally just think like when I prefer to make like I know. I'm trying to think.
I didn't know if it was
Like a White Russian, I prefer to use a whipped cream vodka because it doesn't have like that vodka aftertaste. It just has like a smooth.
You should
Yeah.
just eat candy at that point, right? If you're using a whipped cream vodka in a White Russian, that's just chocolate milk for grown-ups, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, man, shove off, bro.
I didn't say anything wrong with it. I love candy. I wasn't saying anything mean.
This is why you're never invited when I
But
hang out
how
with
is
Brand.
Why don't you go?
mean?
Why don't you go just drink your Heineken?
How does that mean? How is that what I said mean?
Nothing.
It
Honestly,
is chocolate milk for grown-ups. That is 100% what a White Russian is.
Okay.
Great. We did it.
We did it.
let's take a quick break. We'll come back
Already?
We'll
Wow.
start breaking down this movie.
The next break will definitely also be in
we
6
need a
minutes
break
and 43
to
seconds.
cool
Yeah.
off
We're
over here.
Listen,
Dan and I are
you know
fighting.
what you're getting into. Come back in just a minute. We'll talk about Smart House here on DCOM Descendants.
Check the home.
Wait, what? What is this show?
You come to Simmons. Drink and drink.
Oh no!
Smart House.
Yeah, this program is just called Smart House.
Popcorn.
Hey, we're back, everybody. Welcome to DCOM
Popcorn.
Descendants Smart House Popcorn.
Break and drink.
Popcorn.
Why did we name it Break and Drink? That seems like a great name.
Well, because that's only one movie.
That's right. That's
It's
true.
a
We would
dumb-
never do
it's a
that.
dumb
DCOM
idea.
Descendants makes more sense across the board and has from the beginning.
It's time for Com Chat. It's where we talk about the movie,
The
break it
comms
down
and the
for you.
chats.
This is the segment that we've been told Dyke the Homework needs to copy.
Take notes on.
Because
Yeah.
no other podcast ever has ever
That's
done
right.
this.
It's ever done
So
this.
if the host from Deck
And
the Hallmark
also-
could just listen up.
Yeah. And also, can you imagine listening to Deck the Hallmark and having a 40-minute synopsis?
I could.
Yeah, I could not.
It's a different podcast.
It is, because we don't do the other segments, I don't think. I think we
No,
just...
no,
and that was the original idea. We kind of like tossed
Well, the
that.
way we do
yeah.
the synopsis here is you and I also interject our
Yes.
opinions throughout the whole thing.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
it is like if you did the whole podcast, nix the 4 segments, one big segment.
Correct.
All in, all
Yeah,
done.
yeah. All in, all done. That's right.
This
Seems like a lot of work.
is a movie that Google says is funny, quirky, and playful. It's directed by LeVar
Butterfly
Burton,
in the sky.
and it was released on June 26, 1999, starring... There's Katie Seagal's in it. Which
Yeah,
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 yeah.
the Katie Seagal.
Kevin Kilner?
Kevin
Kevin
Kilner.
Kilner.
Katie Volding is back
Yeah.
from Brink fame.
And then Aaron's childhood crush.
Childhood crush, current crush.
Current crush, Ryan Merriman.
Ryan, if you're listening, and I know you are, I'm still upset that Veritas got canceled back in 2001. It was a darn shame, and if you want to bring that back, I'm here for it.
What's Veritas?
Don't worry about it. It's a great show that got canceled.
A darn shame.
It was like I would equate it to like a National Treasure type TV show that got canceled because there was a war going on and they had to fill the primetime spot with news.
You're blaming 9/11 for the
No,
loss of Veritas?
No, I'm blaming the news.
It seems like you were like,
If you could go back in time,
Veritas was great. Thank you so much, 9/11, for ruining it. is what it sounds
Thank
like.
you, news, for needing 8 hours a day to tell me about
Thank you.
the awful world.
Aaron blames.
If you had to choose between
cancellation.
Veritas not getting canceled or 9/11 not happening, which one are you going for?
9/11 not happening.
That's not what you said before we started recording. That's not what I heard. Read between the lines, folks. It's clear as crystal.
We're not trying to put words in your mouth.
Clear as
It's just
crystal.
pretty
You
obvious.
said what you said. Smart House starts with a kid delivering newspapers. Did you ever have a paper job?
I did.
Did you ever have a job delivering papers?
I
Is what I
have
meant to
a
say?
paper job
a paper job?
where we use paper.
Yeah.
All of them. Did you run
You had-
a
you-
paper route?
Yeah, I
You
did.
were a paper gal?
What?
Did you wear a hat?
No.
Did you ride a bicycle or a car?
I
Or by foot?
No, I was
Car.
just trying to figure out what kind of paper situation we're talking about.
Paper
car,
house.
but I had the little bag with all my. I had to roll the newspapers myself.
So were
bundle
you
them
in
up.
the? So how like
does
how
that-
old were you? Was your parental figure driving, and then you were in the back
Yeah,
seat?
I had dreams of using my bike. I thought this was going to be this iconic job that I would have. I was like 13, somewhere around there. And we just lived on a busy road, and my parents were like, "No way."
No way, no
But
how.
they supported you enough to drive you around to deliver papers.
Yeah.
So what were you doing? Waking up at like 4 or 5? What's the process there? You got to go to the.
I need
you
to know
gotta,
how everything.
No.
I need to know how much it costs.
do you have to
I
go
need
to
know
the news?
How many papers you're
No, so
delivering?
they got delivered to my house. The big bundle.
I mean, let's cut out the middleman here.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
You
Yeah.
already have a delivery
You're already-
man.
The papers are in your car. I don't know what you're
The big bundle got delivered. I
Okay.
then had to roll them each up.
in the morning.
I did it after school.
Oh,
That you got tomorrow's newspaper today. How did
No.
you roll up the paper in the afternoon for the next day?
No, it was that day. They just said the
I'm
paper.
sorry. People weren't getting their papers until after school.
They told me when I got the job, they were like, it needs to be in the mailbox before 5 p.m.
This is some
This is-
BS.
this is not a
This is
newspaper.
why
Is this
newspapers
some
are
local
dying.
Milford, Massachusetts nonsense?
It was the Milford Daily News.
Okay, yeah, okay. This isn't real news. I can't believe we did all this. I can't believe we did all this
Yeah,
for a
afternoon.
fake town newspaper. I thought you were
it
like,
serves-
just
it serves
imagine
several
not
towns.
ha-
It was
having to-
several towns.
Imagine having
wasn't
to
just
wait.
Milford.
You gotta wait until after school to find out what's happened
in the Milford Daily News.
yesterday.
I didn't do it very long. I ended up I
You
quit.
quit.
It was like $20 a week, and I was like, "This is
$20
it
a
was,
week.
It was not a lot, and
That's nothing.
Every now and then, there was one house on my delivery route who, like, every 4 months would tip me $13, and that was a huge paycheck day for me.
Every 4 months,
It was like quarterly they
Okay.
would tip me, and
$39 a year.
it just
4 months. That's not quarterly.
What
after a
4
few months,
times a
I was
year,
like,
yeah.
this has got to.
52.
I wanted to quit almost
is that-
immediately, but I felt bad because I had agreed to do it.
Yeah.
What's that tip come out to daily? If it was a daily tip, it's like 10 cents. What is that?
It's basically $1 a week is what they're tipping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
52, 13 a quarter is 52. So it's
Yeah.
$1 a week. So 5 days or 7 days? How many days were you out there doing it?
7.
You delivered 7 days a week?
Maybe not Saturday, maybe 6. There was definitely a Sunday paper.
Yeah, it's the most
That one went
important
out.
paper to read
That
on
one-
Sunday morning.
That one did go out in the morning,
Wow.
So when did you roll that one?
early in like before church.
Wow.
Okay, so it went out late morning.
Did you deliver it after church?
No, before church.
So on your way to church.
I think that one had to be out
Yeah.
by like 8 a.m.
Like all papers.
But
are
Monday
supposed to
through
be.
Friday, they said 5 p.m. And I said, if you say so.
You know what's great
Insane.
about this conversation? There's so many things, and I have more questions, but
It's
we
for
haven't even,
one sentence
we haven't
into the
even gotten
synopsis.
to the title card Smart House yet.
This is what Nicole wanted. Nicole Noel
Yeah.
said, "Give me
Love, give me liberty, disco.
Give me
But I
this
did
long,
have that the bag that kid had with all the
bag.
papers in it. I had one of those.
the bag. What did you wear the bag in your
the
car?
truck? In the car? Whatever
No, it was like on the floor.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would.
I can't believe your parents agreed to do this for $20 a week. That's unbelievable. That's just above
It-
board.
but it's honestly
when
a best
I went
case-
in to do it, I thought we were all in agreement that I would ride my bike. And then when they gave me the route, my mother decided that
Okay.
no, not
Got
doing
it.
that.
Got it. All right. So this guy's delivering papers in
Yeah.
Smart House.
And
On his bike.
Yes,
On his bike.
and this young lad, early in the morning, I presume the way
Yeah.
that papers were
Meant to be
intended
delivered. Correct.
Here's a voice of a woman basically saying, "Hey, you got to be more accurate with where you're throwing this in your paper." And he's like, "Okay, lady." And then out of nowhere, a mechanical
Where's the
claw She's just a sound, a speaker, a vapor.
Projection.
A projection, not yet. A giant claw comes out of the house, grabs the paper, and then brings it inside, which does beg the question, why does it matter if he's accurate or not? If you have that, it doesn't matter. But it does let us know that this is a feature
of Smart
House. It does have a giant claw. In case you ever need to jump into the house,
run alongside it.
There is a way. There
right
is a way.
yes.
No way that comes back later.
Do you think is it just newspapers? Does it also collect the mail?
Maybe that's where it collects all of the goods that it needs. Dan kept asking during this movie, how does it replenish itself? It just kind of grabs it.
It's the grabber.
Who knows how long this arm is? Goes down the street to the
That
store.
arm goes all the way down to the store.
I don't know.
Well, I did have a thought about that. We kept making Amazon jokes.
In
Take.com.
1999. Yes, yeah.
We did keep wondering while watching this movie how they're getting all this stuff. And at one point, no spoilers, but at one point, Sarah, the tech who created the house, says that there is enough supplies in the house to keep the family in there for months. So then I started wondering, like, underneath the house, is there like a biodome garden situation?
Yeah,
Like, is
how
the
you
house
keeping-
growing?
Is it all one bit? Is it all refrigerate? Is it a big refrigeration?
You can't,
Like-
keep oranges that even with a refrigerator, produce is going to die.
So I was just wondering if, like, in the sub level, is there like a
Is there a tree?
Garden.
Is there an apple tree? Is it like
So-
what do we
yeah.
got going on down there?
It's a lot happening.
We'll get to that later, but I was just throwing that out there.
Yeah, of course.
I've been thinking about that.
So people live here in the Smart House. They're also smart and roll credits, right?
No. We
It's a
do
house for
know.
smarties.
We do know
Got
that
it.
there is a woman in this house. Her
Sarah.
name is Sarah, and we don't really know at this point what her deal is, but she's kind of like testing the house, like making sure
Yeah.
it's all happening. We then meet a kid named Ben. Ben is making a tuna casserole, helping his sister with spelling. Also,
Really being Mr. Mom.
but yeah, he does that. But then you know what? Dad brings home a new ball in a bag, and you get out there and you shoot some shots. And in all of his spare time, in between all of these, he is constantly sending in new submissions for this Smart House contest.
Because they are giving away
yes,
this
a one-of-a-kind
state-of-the-art house in their neighborhood.
yes.
We give it away.
We give it
just
away.
Give it away.
I don't know why you have questions about that. That
We
seems-
we talked
Seems
about
above board to me.
it does definitely seem like a beta program situation with like a house included, like, which is a pretty good gig. Like if someone were to say to you, hey,
Yes.
live here, this is like, we got some beta, like it's a beta test, but you get to keep the house. Like win or lose, you get to keep the house.
Yeah.
Like if the program,
Yeah,
if
I mean,
the,
It's
if
not
this
like the
tech,
house is going to turn bad on
no,
you.
no,
Even if it does, worth the risk.
worth the risk, free house. And I told
No
you
property
guys
tax.
about property tax since it's new
There
tech.
is still
New
a
tech-
property.
new
It's
tech-
still a
it's-
house.
it is a
it's
new-
still land.
There are
It's a
no
new
taxes
tax.
on the
Still
house because
property
it's brand new.
tax.
It's a new tech credits. So yeah, there are, but
New
you
tech
get a credit.
credits.
You get a credit for the price of what it is.
The old new, and it's the exact price of the property tax
Yes.
every year. Brand Talks Taxes is one of my favorite segments.
Biden put it in place not too long ago.
It's a new tech.
All you
credit.
gotta do is, it doesn't matter, get the land, build a house with new tech, and you get a credit.
Wow. Is it the new tech has to be first time it's ever been used?
And in a yes, but it doesn't have to work very good.
Okay.
So, not trying to give anybody tax advice here, but I think it's pretty clear what you should do.
Yeah, and I'm just going to say, disclaimer, maybe don't take tax advice from Bran.
Shouldn't be a disclaimer, but it needs.
We
to
are in
be.
tax filing season.
Yes. Yeah, you don't want to do
Maybe
that.
go to your tax pro and not
Your accountant.
DCOM Descendants.
That's right.
Smart House is the
Medical
brain.
advice, on the other hand, get all that from podcasts.
Yes.
For sure. You can tune in next week. We are going to have a medical sub podcast.
That's exactly right. With the mom from the 13th year, actually, I think she's coming on and she's going to give her thoughts on some stuff, and it's going to be really good.
Really?
Yeah,
Her medical thoughts.
her medical thoughts.
Great. She's going to really, yeah.
She's great. Smart House
Rule
is
number 1, no doctors.
no doctors. Smart House
Spoiler.
is the brainchild of Sarah, and they're giving away this house, and it's her baby, and there's this other guy who's there.
He's important.
And
He's the publicist.
He's the
Yeah.
publicist of
Smart House, the contest.
He's the one that's like, what if we give it away?
You know what's interesting though is couldn't Smart House have done that?
Yes.
What?
The PR.
Yes.
Well, I think they had to be launching and like rolling out that
Before
promotion.
Smart House was ready to be.
I'll just go ahead and just sidebar out and say this is.
I'll allow it.
The most, and this is going to sound unbelievable. This is the most ridiculous setup of any of these movies we've watched so far.
More ridiculous than Mermaid Baby and
I'm not
and
saying
boat
more,
and Boat Box.
I didn't say
Baby Boat Box.
I didn't say it's the most unrealistic or the most far-fetched. It's the most ridiculous. Like everything else, it's like once you buy in, there are mermaids. Mermaid left baby in box. All right, that's stupid, but now I'm in, right?
But Mermaid Baby in Box is more ridiculous than Smart House.
There is Mummy, but no, the idea that they've created a state-of-the-art house
and they're giving it
and
away.
they're just giving it away, and they don't know what it could do to someone. They just in a neighborhood, and this isn't making news.
That's
Some
the
kid down the street just
print of the contest that 13-year-old Ben
just saying,
It
didn't
actually
read.
it is in the news. It doesn't get there till 5 though.
Yeah,
so,
of course, but it's in the local paper. It's just late delivered, of course. But like, there's a Mummy. All right, that's crazy, but I'm in. Halloween Town, crazy, but I'm in. This is I had a lot more questions at the door here than I did on all these other ones.
The door of Smart House, if you will.
Yes, that's like, all right, it's 2049 and we live in space. Okay, great, let's do it. We live in space. This one is like, wait, why? But how? There's so many questions here that don't pass just basic muster of the setup of the plot.
I have 0 questions. It's a smart house.
It's a smart house. That's kind of the whole thing. Is it's a smart house.
Sarah
It's
is
even
a
in
smart
the-
lady.
It's
She
even
built
in
a
the
smart
name.
house. I don't know what else.
It's even a
you
name.
need.
It's even a name of movie.
It's
Smart
the movie
House.
said.
It's a smart movie, smart house built by smart lady.
So there's Sarah, there's PR guy, and then there's head honcho
Old Man
of
Withers.
company that created.
Old Man Withers.
Doesn't matter. They are all together because they are getting ready to pick the winner of Smart House contest. And obviously they let
One
Pat,
kid,
the name of the house.
And PAT stands for something, and we all remember what that was.
Abnormal tarantula.
Personal assistant
Technology.
That makes more sense.
I don't know. And guess who wins? It's our guy Ben. Ben entered this contest. He says
a quarter of all.
He says a quarter of all entries
That's
are his. I don't know how you can know that, especially without the assistance of Smart House.
That's right.
But he does know
Well,
that.
if they ever announce like, oh, we've had 1 million entries so far, and he knows that he put in a
That's
quarter of
true.
a million
It's
entries
possible.
himself, then we know.
It's possible the 7 p.m. newspaper had some sort of information in there. So he wins. He finds out that he wins. They try calling him. No answer. Who is it? There's no answer.
Say anything.
And so,
well, it's not that there's no answer. They can't get through because he's on the line.
He's a teenager.
He's on the line.
He's a teenager.
Yeah. Dial up.
Do you guys ever have that really cool family that you were friends with that had 2 phone lines? Did you ever have that?
I don't think. I think that was more. That was a myth.
No, I do remember.
I had one friend that had 2 phone lines, one dedicated phone line for the internet, and I was like, "This is it. This is the top of the rung." Here.
No, we were slightly late getting to the internet game, so we were dial up for a while. I did. Maybe she had 2. I had one friend whose internet did not tie up the phone line, so after school she would spend like hours online.
Broadband.
And then she would just be like, "Why weren't you online? Why weren't you on AIM?" And I was like, my mom needed the phone.
Yeah, that's how it works, man.
Couldn't get on. She had some business.
She had to talk.
She had to talk
to
her friends.
To her friends about phone stuff.
And my AIM didn't register.
It's tough. So everybody in school starts cheering though because they all find out
had the paper early.
They had the paper early. They had tomorrow's
came early.
So they show up. The family does. Ben, Angie.
Yep.
And Dad.
Yeah.
And they are all brought into this house. Dad meets Sarah and is immediately like hubba hubba.
Yeah,
like,
the eyes just immediately.
Yes. And so she gives him a tour of all the things that Pat can do, such as make you a smoothie. Pick up the smoothie if you drop said smoothie. It just absorbs it into...
Right up.
All the walls are screens.
All the walls are screens. And not just the walls are screens. They are 4D. There's mist. There's a wind. It feels... It's
it feels
fully
like you're
immersive.
right at the ocean.
Yes. It's amazing.
What a way to wake up that would be.
It's a smart house. I'll say that
seagulls,
much. Yes.
feel a nice breeze on your face.
So
Wake up.
obviously,
Picks out your outfits for you.
Sarah leaves for the day,
It's literally my
and
dream.
Dad watches her for an extended amount of time as she walks, takes her sweet time heading to the car,
just to make sure she's safe.
just to make sure, of
And
course,
no other
of course,
ogling or anything
of
like
course. We notice there's a bit of tension in the house because Angie really wants a new mom. Their
That's right.
mom
Yes.
died.
a
We know,
replacement.
I have created the backstory. We don't need to get into the backstory.
Yes.
But she's dead. And she wants a new mom. Ben, not so much.
Ben, not
Ben
so
doesn't
much.
want a new mom. And when she mentions even the thought of Dad dating Sarah or getting back out there, he goes off on her.
Loses his
You're
mind.
being ignorant.
Ignorance. That's
blah,
right.
blah, blah. You don't even remember, Mom. You're stupid. I hate you. And then...
You need to watch what you say.
That's right.
Yeah, it's like, sorry, I was a little hard on you, but you need to watch your
switch is flipped.
filthy mouth.
It gets out of hand in a hurry.
His apology is so backhanded. And so clearly...
Sorry, you're so dumb and ignorant. I will say this.
My
We do
bad.
need to back up on one
ahead.
thing. When they start to live in the house on the first time they arrive, they have to put their hand in this machine that basically takes a blood sample.
it bites them,
And
as
that
Sam says.
one blood sample can read their diagnostics,
And it knows their name.
and it knows their name,
Their height,
Name
their
is
and
written
age.
everything, and it updates itself constantly. Now, that
is it hacking into
that is
medical records?
It's
Is that how getting all that?
problematic for a number of reasons.
It is smart house.
But
It is
also,
smart house.
that's not how any of that was done in 1999. Also, that's not how
Smart
what you
house.
could do. And here's the thing is that they just ignore it the rest of the way.
Smart house.
But later, Smart House could use that information and doesn't have it. Why not if it is Smart House?
Because at that point, smart house is no longer thinking like a computer. It is thinking like a
Like
mother.
an engineer.
Come on.
Nope.
Smart house,
Smart
Daniel.
house.
Smart House. Got it. Yeah.
So the family's getting used to Smart House, and they're loving it. That is until, as Aaron mentioned earlier with Orange Martini, the Smart House begins to attack them via Orange.
They have a bit of a malfunction.
They have a bit of a malfunction. They wanted a smoothie, and instead it pops up.
with just oranges.
Oranges just shooting them everywhere.
So many oranges.
There's smoke.
Pat
and-
robbed a grocery store
Oof.
for sure.
I think we're all worried about it, except Dad. Dad is like, yes, I get to call Sarah. This is
I have a
big
reason.
news.
this is great
Did
news.
was Dad the first one to sabotage
Oh,
Pat?
a great question. A great question.
Oh,
Because
was Dad
she has no other malfunctions.
Nope. Just
After
that one.
that, like she obviously does have some learned behavior
Issues.
She is able later to do some different things, but they're not malfunctions. It's not I want smoothie and out pops oranges shooting at me. Not bad, Aaron.
This is good stuff.
Not bad.
We're on to you,
good
Kevin Kilner.
sleuthing.
We're on to you, Kevin. Kev boy. So
Really, just Pat was doomed from the start. The whole family is trying
Yeah.
to manipulate her.
yeah.
Poor Pat. Poor sweet Pat.
Poor
Kevin
sweet,
Kilner watched
not a
Sarah
hologram Pat.
walk away and said, I have to do
Yeah.
whatever it takes.
Yeah. Yeah. He
Even
stared
if
for a
it
long
means
time.
just killing my children via oranges.
I mean, it's Smart
nothing
House.
I
There's
can
nothing I can do.
This is
Hands are
Smart
tied.
House. So Sarah does come over, looks at everything, and is like, looks pretty good to me. And
And he looks at Sarah and goes, also looks pretty good
Yeah.
to me.
yeah, that's
right.
exactly right.
Both hands.
Ben then freaks out at Dad because Dad is obviously trying
You know
to.
my mom.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. You forgot mom? You
Yes.
forget
Yeah.
she existed?
This is the lobster fest.
Yes, this is early. This is a freak out number one on Dad.
Yes.
And Dad at
Yeah.
this point is like, you know what? He gives him a little pep talk about just being a kid. Like, hey,
Yeah.
you gotta be a kid.
Shoot some ball.
He kind of
right.
recognizes that he's been depending on his son too much.
Yes.
Post
Have
dead
I
mom.
been asking you to make tuna casserole every night?
Yes.
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 So Ben takes all this in, hears what his dad is saying, and says, thanks, but no thanks, sir. What I want to do now is prove to you we don't need mommy. We don't need Sarah mommy to come in here and start
Gotta say it differently.
being our maternal figure. So what he does is he hacks into Pat's control room and
Not even once.
what's up?
Nothing. Keep going. You're doing great.
Say it in the mic.
No.
This is an audio platform. Say it into the mic.
There's nothing to say.
Say it into the mic.
Just keep moving. I didn't say anything.
Aaron, what'd you say?
You don't have to say it.
We know somebody whose name is Sarah, and I was just wondering if her kids called her Sarah Mommy.
Oh, they should.
That's all.
I like that. That's
I
good.
highly doubt it. I highly doubt it ever happened.
So he hacks into the control room and is
Takes
able
all the security protocol off of there.
Say
all
no,
the
so
safety.
no more
Delete.
security.
He says delete safety protocols.
Delete it. Get out of here.
Go on.
And then pulls up old TV shows featuring mothers.
Yep. What was that? The Flashback
Mother,
Network?
yeah, the Flashback Network that's having a
Mommy
block
Marathon?
of mom shows.
It's like Nick at Night,
Mother
but
Knows
moms.
Best.
Moms only.
Noah's
Yes.
matriarch.
Only moms. And
My three moms, which is weird.
yeah.
It's
And
like
my three sons.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. She now watches all this, takes in all
My
this
three moms was that
information.
1950 sitcom about a polygamous lesbian group
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
they raised kids. The three moms.
We don't talk about it,
Yeah.
but then the
Yeah,
1950s.
it was on NBC in the 1950s.
Man,
the
9
1950s
seasons.
were
Can you
ahead
believe
of
that?
their-
So
ahead of their
progressive.
times.
I don't like what happened to us.
That's actually where the sound came from. The dun dun dun. They each had
right. A
that one of
sound.
those
That's
sounds.
right. We-
So
you know
we
what?
still to this day salute the three moms.
And that's what, when I hear Make America Great Again, that's what I think of.
That's it.
Bring back the three
My
moms.
three moms.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So she takes all this in and now begins to be more maternal. Like in the morning, helping them wake up a little bit earlier. All this making sure, hey, you got to brush your teeth or get back in there, Missy.
Yeah, you got to wear a
Things
coat.
like that.
It's a little chilly.
Yeah, and when Ben tries to leave without putting the coat on or whatever, she makes it to where if he grabs the handle,
That's a little bit later.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a little bit later.
Yeah, that's
This
later.
is still like just like, hey, you need to pull your shorts up.
Oh yes.
You need to no, or excuse me, you
No,
need to
shorts
eat.
are
No,
later.
shorts are the scene you're
It's
talking
where,
about.
Yeah, it's where she makes a cupcake for
A
lunch.
cupcake. That's right. It's
because
like
kids deserve a
kids
treat.
deserve a break.
Okay. Yeah.
The next
Mainly wear a
one.
coat and Ben is still playing along because he's like, oh, look how maternal Pat is
And then
being.
the thing you're talking about happens after the party
That's right.
because he gets socked in the face because he's got a bully at school.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes.
And that sets up the next one.
Yes,
Yes.
that's exactly right. So,
He was up all night programming Pat that he forgot to have Pat do the bully's homework.
yes.
That's right.
And believe it or not, just having a maternal AI system house does not make Dad any less into Sarah. In fact, can't stop thinking about her.
Yeah.
In fact,
it's crazy. How
does
that
a couple
works.
of things at work and wants to call her.
Yeah.
Which, Pat's not thrilled about. Well, what can you do? And so he wants to go on a date.
Yeah.
He's
calls
gonna go-
Sarah,
Yeah,
asks
call.
her.
They're gonna go.
FaceTimes are even.
The FaceTimes. They're gonna go out, and Smart House decides. You know what? Kids need kids. They need to be kids.
She wants to take care of the bully.
That's right.
She
and
wants
so,
to take care of this bully for Ben.
Well, it's
Yes.
a both and. She wants kids to have
Yes.
fun, and she wants to protect baby Ben.
So she hacks into Ben's address book, which
You know, how
has
we all
everybody's.
had the entire
We were
schools.
flush with email
Every-
addresses.
Yeah.
in
everyone's
1990s.
email address.
So many.
I just can't even remember all the.
I mean, everyone had an email address because every house
Yeah.
had internet in
for
1999.
sure.
And so invites
house.
everybody to this party. His friends come over first. They do an awesome choreographed dance to Jump, Jump. The house is jumping.
No, they do a dance to Slam Dunk the Funk.
Oh, sorry, you're
By
right.
five.
Right.
Did you
And then
watch the movie,
And then they do
Brent?
Jump, Jump later. I
Yeah.
apologize.
Jump Jump plays like 3 times during
Yeah.
this movie, but this one scene is fun.
I appreciate it. They do a choreographed dance together as you do with your bros. Then everyone else shows up and they're like, whoa, this is amazing. They're having so much fun.
There's
They're-
food everywhere.
There's food
There's
everywhere.
confetti.
The bully then shows up and he says to Angie, I got an invite. And Pat is
Angie,
like, don't worry,
younger,
Angie.
like 8-year-old sister,
That's right.
running the door.
Yeah,
That's right.
as
She's
you
just
do.
the bouncer at
As
the
you
house.
do.
At Smart
As you
House.
do. And so,
Can we hire her for Bramblefest?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
what Pat decides to do is to humiliate the bully in front of the school, and then obviously that would put an end to the bullying. You bully
Yes.
the bully,
Yeah.
you push back.
So she
Yeah.
electrocutes him. Duh.
Electrocutes them with lightning, and then pushes out.
Claw chases him right on out.
This would be.
Yeah.
Would this be
Floating-
a hologram, or
floating-
would this be a virtual projection system?
This is real Claw.
No, we're talking about the
The
Oh, the skull.
skull.
It's just a little 3D
skull, and
hologram.
then
We'll call it a hologram.
Some might. I don't know the difference.
I don't either.
And then the claw throws him out. They continue to party. They do a Soul Train situation.
The world.
This is the jump. The house is jumping. Yeah. And the house is jumping. Everybody's loving it. And then they realize Dad's going to be home at 10:30.
It is 10:24.
24 now.
Dad is prompt in all things.
He's had a great date, though.
Yeah.
2 kisses.
Home at 10:30.
2 kisses deep at least. We don't get all of it.
There's
technically 3 kisses because they have a Hershey kiss.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, of
that's
course,
nice.
that counts. Yeah.
So obviously they tell everybody to get lost, but the house is an absolute mess. But Pat says, have no fear. Push everything
on the floor.
Onto the floor.
Nothing I can do about tabletops, gang. That's where Smart House, that's where my reach ends.
Yeah.
But
That's exactly right.
you put it on the floor, Pat got you.
And
Sucks it all up.
Watching it as an adult, I'm curious about the inconsistencies of Pat's vacuuming.
Yeah.
Because when Angie spills the smoothie on day 1, Pat only sucks up the liquid smoothie. Glass and straw stay behind.
Right.
But in this beautiful scene, everything gets sucked into the floor.
And then some of it
Pat knows.
reappears back on the place where it was supposed to go.
Pillows
when
on the
Dad,
floor,
Yeah,
back on
that's
the
right.
couch.
Pillows
No
on the
problem.
floor, back on the couch.
So, obviously, Smart House.
Yeah.
Duh.
Super clear, super obvious. And so, this
I'm
is
not
great.
saying the technology is not real. I'm just wondering how Pat can tell the difference.
I'm saying the technology's not real.
Well, we're not listening to you. You're wrong.
And the night couldn't have got. Ben even got a kiss from the most popular girl in school.
Gwen.
Come on,
Dad gets
Gwen?
kisses.
The
Ben
goddess
gets kisses.
of the 8th grade.
And they're gonna get away with it too.
Except
Gwen was having such a good time that she threw her jacket,
Sweater.
overshirt, whatever, on top
on the
of
plant.
house
and
plant.
we all know Smart House cannot touch top
There's
of
nothing-
plants.
that's
There's
exactly
nothing
right.
we can do
It's
about
exactly
it.
right.
top of table.
So Dad comes home and both Ben and Angie are like, "This is so cool." And then they see the jacket.
And they could have just played it cool
could've
until
played it
Dad
cool.
turned around.
I'm like,
And
what's that?
And
But they both went,
instead they go, "Whoa,
Oh no, we've
So-
been
And
had.
Dad's like, "What are you all looking at? Whose
So
clothes are those?"
So then he goes on the rant.
gives
on,
him a huge dad talk about how you guys got to be responsible. But I'm also disappointed in you, Pat.
There it is.
I'm disappointed in you. You should have helped make sure that these kids are following the rules and not getting into trouble and keeping them safe. So Pat then takes in a bunch of information herself about how to be more paternal and really keep these kids safe.
More
My number
strict.
one priority is safety above everything else.
Switches again.
Yes.
Shifts gears again. All the security protocols gone.
Yes.
Nothing we can do. Smart House.
And everyone's kind of annoyed by this. They
Yeah.
are annoyed by this. And so they invite
This is where Ben gets shocked
yes.
at the door. He's
Shocked,
trying to leave
you
with
pull
He's
your
got his little
pants
baggy
up.
pants. And
That's
every
right.
time
That's
he
what
tries
all.
to
That's
leave,
how
he
all the
gets
kids
shocked.
wear them. That's how the kids
That's
wear
right.
them. So Ben is like yes, and calls not Ben. Dad is like yes, and calls Sarah back up. Any opportunity to just take a good look at her, he's down for that. So calls Sarah over to take a look, and Sarah's like, "This is I don't know, I'm just gonna shut it down, do a full shutdown, and we'll make dinner. We'll have a night." Where we do things the old-fashioned way.
The old-fashioned way.
Where no Smart House. Smart House is shut down, and we'll make the dinner and all that good stuff. And the night is going well until Ben freaks out again, even more.
Peach
like,
cobbler.
hey, we don't need another mom.
Peach Calder was earlier.
Woman.
That's that dinner, though, right? Because he's like, I asked Sarah to make this because it's exactly what your mom made you, and then he storms off.
Yeah, he's like, we don't need another mom. You're never gonna be my mom. And that dad comes up and like Kevin Kilner gives a performance in this
Absolutely.
scene. Like really believable dad, heart to heart, like angry, but then talks himself down and still is like, trying to help his son work through this thing. And so that's nice. Pat wakes herself up.
Dad says the line, the dinner is going so well, they cooked it, it's tasting great, and Dad says the line, who even needs Pat anyway?
There it is. And
Pat,
that was enough.
Who even
And
though
that is a
Pat
trigger
was
word
override the
for
shutdown.
Pat.
That's right.
even though Pat is turned off,
She hears that.
She's still all hearing and hears
there's no
that.
safety
She's
protocols.
still all hearing.
Yes. And is real
Smart
peeved.
house.
Smart
That's right,
house.
smart house.
Real peeved. And she decides
I'm gonna
now
show
is the
them.
time to use my virtual projection system on myself, and it is a hologram of.
Don't call it a hologram.
I'm
what are you even doing?
That's
right
my
now?
fault. That's my fault.
It's
that's
like
my
you
fault.
don't know the difference
between a virtual projection and a hologram.
That's my fault.
hologram.
So she makes herself appear via VPS, and
she starts talking to Ben, and he is talking back to the wall as he would normally talk to Pat.
And then turns around and freaks the F out.
And everybody's very surprised by this. Most surprised is Sarah. And Sarah doesn't last long because she is pushed out of the house.
Claw.
And then
Smart house.
the house locks
Barricades
down.
itself.
Full lockdown.
There's
full,
all these full lead steel doors.
This house
that
is
drop
equipped.
down.
This house is equipped for the purge. And
Yes.
they go into
Yeah.
full purge mode. Doors come down bulletproof. You can't get into this house. And so they all decide, for some reason, I don't actually know, but they all sleep on the floor in the living room. I just
don't think they wanted to be. I was thinking about this while watching because I understand not wanting to be in your separate bedrooms when the house has become sentient. And
But if I'm
after
dad,
you.
I'm saying you can come into my room.
Right,
But
I was wondering that too. Like,
but
why?
like as a 32-year-old father, I'm not sleeping on the floor.
I mean,
There's no way, how that that's happening.
I mean, there's at least a couch. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
so many options.
It's weird. And
But
they're really
anyway,
chill
they
about
have a
the whole
nice.
thing.
They have a
I
nice.
mean, Ben.
Stay in tonight. No big deal.
Ben needs to be on the floor for Rat Butler.
Yes,
but
Rat.
Yeah.
I
Dad
forgot to
sitting
mention.
on the floor is a move.
It's a move. It's a move.
I forgot to mention this. Sarah does have a rat named Rat Butler. I got the reference and they didn't, and I explained it to them.
It
and we
was
had a good time.
embarrassing for
And
Aaron
so
and
Rat
myself.
Butler comes in with a note from Sarah, basically saying, "Hey,
Yeah.
love
One of Brand's favorite movies to watch
Love
over and over
I
again.
love it. Give
Is,
me 4 hours."
is
Yes.
the 4-hour classic Gone with the Wind.
They decide that we need to figure out a way to work together to defeat Smart House.
Yes.
And so he
Sarah
hops
writes
on.
him a little note that's like, I only want to be your friend. I never want to replace your mom.
Yes. So he hops on to the internet, the
In the
AIM,
bathroom.
in the bathroom.
Because Pat has privacy.
Pat
still,
has
I guess.
privacy, but
But she has no protocols anymore.
yeah, no
She's not
protocols,
just-
and also should be able, especially when
Doesn't
dealing.
matter. It's not
We
important.
Especially when dealing with a
Maybe we
communication
kept
that's
the privacy protocols up. We got rid of the safety, but we kept privacy protocols.
Lord, I hope so. But even then, he's still communicating via with.
Via the
She
internet.
should be able to see this, right?
Yes. Yes.
This is literally.
No potholes.
Okay. Okay. That's fine. You do.
Anyway, they hatch a
Did they
plan.
have wireless? Because he was in the bathtub.
Yes, they definitely have wireless. She definitely should have been able to see all of this. Nevertheless, apparently she can't
No
get
puddles.
in.
Real
The
mess
internet.
out there.
The one
Smart
thing,
house.
the one thing Smart House can't do is the internet. It's like, what? Wireless is just like, how do I? And
Yeah.
so they hatch a plan. The plan is very simple. We know that Pat is going to retrieve the paper with Clawhan. And so
Because
Sarah
they still need
waits.
the newspaper. We've locked him in the house. They didn't know what's going on out
You
there.
don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, you can't have the papers piling up
I
outside.
get tomorrow's newspaper today.
You could just,
and
Clark can
so
just take it and throw it away. But it's not important.
Sarah waits for the door to open, the
No
claw to
problems.
come out, and she then runs. Tom Cruise.
Oh yeah.
Spin
She
move.
Spin moves, dives
straight into
into
claw compactor.
the claw hole,
Yeah.
and is now in the house. No problem. Easy peasy.
Mm-hmm.
Right
And
in Pat's claw hole.
she decides that she's going to try to break into the control room and try to break into the control room and shut Pat down. Obviously, this plan does not go well because Pat's all knowing, except in regards to wireless
regards to certain
internet.
things.
Yeah,
she doesn't even
and
know.
I still have questions of Sarah cutting into the door with laser and then virtual projection.
Yeah.
Not hologram, but
Because-
virtual projection. Pat comes in and is like,
Stop it right
"What
there.
are you doing?"
Pat could absolutely
Pat
do
can't
nothing about
do
this.
anything.
Pat can't physically stop you. She does showcase that she can't, she can do things physically, but she couldn't stop.
I don't
physically stop
Yeah.
Sarah.
I don't think so, but most of this movie is fairly inconsistent on what Smart House can and cannot do. So
I think it's pretty clear everything aside from
if there
wireless.
were a
I think
Smart
if
House
Sarah-
2, then we would maybe find that information out. But there isn't.
She can do everything aside from wireless.
I mean, I think if
those
Sarah was
rules
trying
are
to get
Ryan
in
Lewis and
with-
Macklemore.
If Sarah was trying to use the keypad, I think Pat could stop that. But she's straight
trying to cut the door,
laser
like
cutting
trying to
into
cut
the
her way
door.
into the door.
I think she just sees
Pat
giant
says,
Pat and gets scared. And
Pat
runs away.
says, stop right there. And Sarah's like,
Okay.
there's nothing I can do. It's clear as crystal. So she makes Sarah go into the living room, and Pat just gets real mad and turns into a tornado hurricane situation.
Yes.
Dad and Sarah are now protecting the children. And that is when Ben gets philosophical here and says,
Yeah.
technology can do a lot. But what it can't
We
do,
had a lot of fun here at Smart House.
what it can't do is do what Dad and Sarah just did, which was when we were in danger, they protected us. They shielded us.
Technology can do that.
And virtual VPS can't do that. Smart House can't do that. Pat can't do that. And so that is when Pat begins to realize that no matter how hard she tries, she's never going to be that mom that they need.
Yeah.
What
Did
they
she
need.
try to touch Ben? It was like, you can't
Yeah, there
feel
was
that.
Yeah. It's a weird scene.
And so Pat decides to shut it down, basically. It's like, I'm going to go back into my
cries.
hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you might be thinking to yourself,
They move out that day.
They move out that day. They don't. They decide they're going to stay
It's a
put.
tax-free house.
It's a tax-free house because of
It's
new
your
tax.
first time new tech tax.
And I do want to be clear. There are taxes, but the credit is equal
credit
to the taxes.
That's right. Of course it does.
They decide they're going to stay, and I believe Sarah does become their
Smart
new
house.
Mommy Sarah becomes a thing, I believe. We're going to take one.
Oh, is that what? I was wondering if they were just dating at the end, and I was like, bold move to have a breakfast date at the house, but I guess.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's in the future, and she becomes mommy. She's Mommy Sarah. I don't know. We're not.
Well,
Anyway,
I don't know, because she makes the comment of like, how's Pat been doing?
let's take a quick
Okay.
break. Welcome back. We're talking about Smart House.
Yeah. It's a flawless movie, but I do have lots of questions.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can have questions about things that are flawless for sure. Yes.
absolutely.
No plot
absolutely.
holes, but I'm curious.
And again, I don't want to keep bringing up the Bible, but like we talk about like
Oh boy.
part of the beauty of what Jesus did is like the mystery as well. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like how
Smart house.
amazing, how beautiful
Smart
is
house.
that mystery?
Smart cross.
Smart. That's exactly right. Oh no. It's time for overtime. It is where we talk about.
Definitely have wireless.
It's time to talk about how this movie aged over time and basically give our thoughts on this movie. I will read some letterbox reviews for you
Best part
about Smart House. Balls in your court, Black Mirror. F in Black Mirror is what it said. So
Thank you for making sure we knew.
yes. This is really interesting. Katie Sagal in Smart House is the Toni Collette in Hereditary of the 90s.
Wow. Toni Collette's a real person in Hereditary.
I don't
But
know.
she becomes a
Yeah.
Maybe.
Not awful.
interesting.
Katie, 2 stars. They continue to live in the house.
There it is. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Katie.
Sam with the hard-hitting questions did give this movie 3 stars, but does want to know if Dad ever tried to F the house. Honestly, not a bad
That is
question.
not considering
Not a bad.
that the virtual projection was Katie Sagal and she had a desire to have that relationship with him. How far did he let that go just to see what would happen?
Yeah.
That is a fair question.
Deja is kind of echoing this, but does call the house a HILF.
Wow. That's fantastic.
Jonathan says maybe I was high, but this is the best horror movie ever made.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Man.
Oh,
What a ton.
and Megan says 1.5 stars. LeVar Burton's finest work.
Come on, Megan. Be better. Be better.
So that's what the people of Letterboxd are thinking. What are we thinking? Aaron, you and I have both seen this movie many times.
Yes.
Dan, you've never seen this movie.
Correct.
But I will start with Aaron. Aaron, as somebody who has watched this movie in '99, has watched the movie since, and has now watched the movie now, how do you feel like this movie is fared over time? Your thoughts on the movie overall?
Yeah. I think this movie still holds up to be honest. Don't look at Dan. He's wrong.
I'm just here, just listening. I'm learning.
You're just that other guy
I'm
who's
just
here.
a sponge. I'm just like,
I mean,
learning so much.
for me, the biggest plot holes are technology. I mean, watching this in 1999, it all seemed like it would be possible in the future. So watching it back, I'm like, oh, that I see why we don't have this smart house yet, which is one of my biggest questions is, hey, Disney, it's been 25 years. When can I have smart house?
Smart house.
I've learned nothing from this movie. It still seems like a great idea. Sign me up today. Yeah, still one of my favorite movies of all time. Love the house, love the tech. I don't remember ever thinking this movie was scary.
That's
Seemed
fascinating.
I mean, I think if I watched it now, when so much of our society, like for the first time, if I watched it now, when so much of our society is controlled by AI and tech, I think it would hit a little differently.
I think as kids, you watch this and it's so far fetched that it's just like it's like this is so ridiculous. The house it's obviously not a hologram. It is virtual, and I wouldn't say that. But you see it and you're just kind of like, it's so ridiculous, especially
and I knew it would
as a
never
kid.
happen to me because I would never break into the control room and mess
Wait a
with
minute.
that.
Wait a
I would
minute,
just
wait a minute.
enjoy-
This isn't the first movie ever made about technology becoming sentient and taking over the world.
It is when you're a kid. But when you're a kid and this is the first you're taking in.
Your point is that this is so far-fetched. That's why I wasn't scared. It's so far-fetched. This is copying something that's been done in horror movies and sci-fi movies for
we didn't
years.
see
and
those
years.
at 9 years old.
Okay, so it wasn't when it was made. It was when you watched it.
Yeah,
Okay.
when we watched this
Because
at
it
9.
sounded like this stuff's so far-fetched because it
No,
wasn't
no,
around.
I'm saying
No.
when I watched this as a kid,
You were like,
this whole
oh, it should-
idea
it could
of a
never
smart house
happen.
even being possible is so awesome, but it's so far fetched, and because it's so far fetched, it's not.
I
scary.
got you.
Yeah, and I also thought the benefits of the house far outweighed the terror of the house. So
But I thought
Right,
you were
right.
saying like this technology, like FaceTime and wireless communication, all this was so far we didn't think about it, and so that's why it wasn't scary, and I was going to have a problem with that. Gotcha.
Yeah, but to Aaron's point, like this house can clean up my mess, and so like
Also,
if I have to be
lock you and electrocute you to death.
But when I want a milkshake, boom, milkshake.
And you know what? Sometimes
Depending on what mode it is, not true.
Also, you know
that's
what?
the price of
you want to lock
progress.
me in the house, but you want to have desserts and milkshakes on standby.
But
you know what?
if
That's
Smart
fine.
House is in her maternal phase and thinks you've had too many milkshakes, she's not going to make one. That's the problem.
She can make me whatever she wants.
Guys, have you heard about her milkshake stuff?
Sheesh, have I?
Insane.
That's why Kevin Kilner.
Kevin Kilner. Kevin Kilner.
It wasn't his fault.
No.
You know what they say about
What
those
would you
milkshakes.
even arrest him for? Nothing.
So
Milkshakes.
what? He effed his house. So what?
He at the house.
I mean, if you had a milkshake,
That's right.
That's what I would do. Cops would show up. They'd say, "Did you F the house?" I would hand them the milkshake, and they'd say, "No more questions."
No more questions.
And they would drive right. They would promptly drive off.
Yes.
This movie's a masterpiece. I love this movie.
Amen.
Are there things that are ridiculous about this movie? Of course there are. But are there same things that are ridiculous? Also, some of the things I love about this movie.
Yes.
Absolutely, they are. This movie can do no wrongs. I don't care what anybody says. This movie
Amen.
rules. And I just want to say this: jump, jump! The house is jumping, baby. Let's go, Dana.
I would like to also throw in a C'est la vie.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, Bewitched. Bewitched, please. I mean,
Nicely
come
done.
on. Say you won't.
Are you guys good?
I'm good. I'm good.
No,
Great.
we're never
No,
going to
of course
get over
C'est
this.
la vie. There's a whole like Irish jig part of that song.
there is.
A whole Irish jig part.
Yes. It's
They're
a
from
masterpiece of
Ireland.
a song. It's a
is?
masterpiece.
Bewitched.
Bewitched.
Okay, great.
But they're B asterisk witched.
Asterisk?
Asterisk.
It's that little star.
We'll get there. It's fine. We'll work on it.
It's the little star thing, Dan.
I guess Dan can have his opinion.
That's right. This is so hard because I've moved this in my rankings 3 times already. On the one hand, the movie moves by quicker than maybe all of the other ones we've watched. But I found myself weirdly going, wait a minute, like, what is wrong with a movie like Brink that even though I thought it was just kind of cheesy, it makes sense within the premise it's created? And so on one hand, I think the rest of the movies that we've watched so far, including You Lucky Dog, I think all of them make more sense within the premise they've created than this movie. All of them. Every single one of them. But on the other hand, the sci-fi...
Dan, it's Smart House.
Okay.
I don't like...
I'm not mad
So
that it's Smart
help
House.
me if you put this behind You Lucky
Just
Dog.
listen for 2 seconds. I'm not mad.
If you
that
put it behind the You
I'm
Lucky
not-
Dog, you're
I'm-
never going to have sex with the house.
My chances of effing the house are gone.
Or they're gone, 0%.
That's right.
Zero
Don't even get
milkshakes
the,
for
don't even get
you.
the tax credit.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
No
No credit.
ceremony.
Man, it's unbelievable. Okay, here's the thing: is that of the 8 movies we've watched, I think it's 8. The
is.
premise of this holds up the least to the world it's created. I'm not asking for Smart House to be realistic. I don't care what Smart House can do. I don't care if it's more unrealistic than it is now. As long as you adhere to the rules you've created, this movie doesn't do that. It is literally just like hodgepodge beluga, whatever we needed to do, let's let it do. That's really disappointing. The flip side of this is the genuine horror created by Katie Seagal becoming a virtual projection and then growing to 20 feet tall as her voice turns into digital Satan is etched into my brain in a really fascinating way. It is unbelievable how terrifying this movie is, and I don't think they intend it to. And then I'm like, all right, well, that's more important than it's sticking to the rules it's created. And then in the end, they stay in the house.
Yeah, they stay in the house.
They stayed in the house.
The house is
How-
the house,
Free Smart House.
No.
and the house is jumping.
And he's not even going to F the house. He's just there.
We don't know that.
We do. I mean, Sarah moved in. If
Privacy
Sarah
set-
was into it,
Privacy
then maybe I don't want to get into
the
that.
privacy
What I
settings.
can tell you is that they stayed in the house. And I can't believe they stayed in the house. This entity locked and barricaded the doors, electrocuted children, and they stayed in the house.
Dope.
I couldn't get not dope. Couldn't get past it. Couldn't get past it. So
Sometimes kids need to be
and
electrocuted.
interest. Wow. Let's cut that right there. Sometimes, no, I'm not even going to repeat it. I'm just saying there's a mixed bag
Pull
here,
up your pants.
but the movie did probably go by as quick as any other. I don't know where to put it. I'm very, very confused on this. So there you have it. Definitely not the best we've seen. There's just no way around it. It's not the best we've seen.
Well, let's find out. It's time for making the list. It's where we
we're
talk
already.
about where we put this on our list. We are now up to 8. We're almost to that magic number 10 where we don't have to list all the movies, and I have to
Not there yet.
finally stop getting flack for where I put You Lucky Dog. But I digress. Aaron, give
Just
us your
change
top
it.
8 MySpace. What you got?
This is the first time you and I my guess is we're going to disagree.
Oh, we do not have the same list.
Okay, here we go.
I'm going to start at number 8.
Of course.
Great.
You Lucky Dog.
It's great so far.
Number 7, 13th Year.
Wow.
Number 6, Under Wraps. Number 5, Can of Worms. Number 4, Brink.
Wow.
Number 3, Xenon. Number 2, Halloween Town. And number 1,
You moved it to 1 ahead of your favorite. You said your
movie
favorite
rules.
is Halloween Town.
not my favorite overall.
Oh, I thought you said that was
No,
like
I just watch Halloween Town every Halloween. It
This
doesn't make it my
movie
favorite.
rules.
this movie rules. Is what you're saying. Got it.
If I had to choose between watching Smart House or watching Halloween Town, I cannot stress enough how much I want to live in Smart House.
Yeah.
Cool.
Number
Also, if Ryan Merriman wants to live there with me,
That's a different conversation.
so.
number 8, Under Wraps. Number 7, You Lucky Dog.
Oh,
Number 6.
you're a sucky dog.
Number 6, Can of Worms. Number 5, The 13th Year. Number 4, Xenon. Number 3, Halloween Town. Number 2, Smart House. Number 1, Brink.
All right, here we go. We ready?
Number
Number
8.
8.
Morehouse.
Smart. I'm just kidding.
Smart.
I would never.
It doesn't go by the rules.
What?
I love rules. Rules are amazing.
Am I Donald Trump?
I make the best rules. No one makes better rules than me. I'm Dan. Smart House doesn't follow the rules.
Just asking for movies to follow the rules.
If I was the president, Smart House follow the rules.
That's all I'm asking.
Is that too much to ask? Just follow the rules. Go ahead, rule police. What
Number
you got?
8, You Lucky Dog,
Come on,
where it
man.
belongs. Number 7, The 13th Year. Number 6, Under Wraps.
Okay.
Number 5, Can of Worms.
Whoa, okay.
Number 4,
Do it.
Smart House.
No!
Number 4, Smart House. Number 3, Brink. Number 2, Xenon. Number 1, Halloween Town.
There you go.
I think my problem was as soon as I established that it wasn't as good as Halloween Town, I kept looking at those other 2 movies and going, Brink did what it set out to do way better than this movie did. So it has to be better than Brink. If it has to be better than Brink, it has to be better than Xenon. And
If
so
you give a mouse a
Xenon is the
cookie.
one that I think is kind of, I could maybe move Xenon to 4, but I like the lead performance there. I don't know. It's tough up there at the top.
Hey, you can always change it later
Yeah.
on. Later
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
as you pray about it, you get in that war room.
Very debatable at 2, 3, 4. It just is. I think Katie Seagal alone makes Smart House not in the bottom half of this list for sure.
Yeah.
But
There's some really good performances in this movie, and it's just
Kevin Kilner.
Come on.
Kevin Kilner
Ugh.
killed it.
that scene. You're not the only one who lost someone, Ben.
Yeah,
Just
Bringing it.
sticks with you. It's
lot
just
of
always
fake
good to
tears in this movie.
remember that you're not the only one that lost someone, Ben. We did it. We smart housed real good. We're going to be back next week. If you enjoyed this show and you're not subscribed on the Apple Podcast to the DCOM Descendants feed or wherever you listen to podcasts, go ahead and search it, save it, subscribe, do whatever the thing is. Leave a review as well. We would love that. It would mean a lot to us. We're going to be back next week with which movie, Aaron?
Johnny Tsunami.
Johnny Tsunami.
I'm very excited about this. I haven't seen this movie in a hot minute.
I haven't either.
But I loved it growing up.
All right.
And we get to talk a little bit about Jet Jackson as well, which is never
The Jet Jackson.
the Jet
The
Jackson.
famous
The
Jet
famous
Jackson.
Jet Jackson.
Boy.
Thank you very much. Rest in peace, obviously. We're going to be back
Yeah.
next week.
R.I.P.
Until then, maybe the first 2 wish.
DCOMs unite.
no! Up and away! It's a hot house.
DCOM Descendants is a Bramble Jam podcast. It's produced by Brandon Gray. For more information, you can find us on the socials at DCOM Descendants. For more information, you can find us on the web at www.dcompodcast.com. For more information on how to watch us, watch the movie live, you can go to BrambleJamPlus.com.